Alright, this is Vegeta8259, and today I'm going to be doing a review of the 1 to 100 scale Master Grade Gundam F91 from the movie with the same title, Gundam F91. Alright, now this is not really a brand new Master Grade, but it's relatively new as far as Master Grades go. It was made in, let's see, 2006, and it is a smaller mobile suit. F91 took place at the point in the Universal Century when mobile suits started to shrink for some reason. I guess the technology just got better and they started to make them more compact. But yeah, it's actually a very nice looking Gundam. I wasn't too crazy about the design at first, but I think it is starting to grow on me. I guess it's just kind of unorthodox for a Universal Century suit, but as I built it and the more I looked at it, I'm starting to like the design more. So anyway, I think this is going to be a 3-part review. I've decided all my reviews in general, I'm going to try to make a little bit longer, just so I can get more information into them. And I think first part we'll do articulation, colors, stuff like that. Second part we'll do weapons and accessories. And then a third part I'm going to start including on all my Master Grade reviews is a review of the inner frame. So with that, I guess we can go ahead and get started. Now this is the unpainted version. I haven't painted this yet, so this is exactly what it's going to look like out of the box. For colors, you get white, obviously. You get a very dark gray, which is almost black for the inner frame. You've got just a few red pieces, feet, crotch piece here, and then on the face. And you've actually got a lot of little yellow bits. That's one thing that I thought was pretty impressive, is that most model kits, a lot of the Gundams that have these little yellow triangles on them, a lot of the mobile suits from Gundam Wing and G Gundam also have these for some reason, but usually they just give you a sticker for them, or it'll just be like scribed in like a panel line and you can just fill it in yourself. But on here, Bandai actually gave us yellow parts to do all of these little yellow triangles, which I thought was pretty nice. Just again, Bandai going above and beyond what they need to as far as Master Grades go. So, oh, he's also got clear parts for the eyes, just like every other Master Grade. And I think that's it for colors. I'll just go over colors for the accessories in part 2 when we actually do the accessories. So, for articulation, he's got a ball joint neck. Oops, his helmet came off. Got a ball joint neck, so it can go forward and back like so. Can turn 360. And I guess since it's not really a weapon or accessory, I'll go ahead and do it here. One feature of the F91 is you can take the helmet off, flip up the face mask, and you can have the face in open mode, which I find kind of funny because it almost looks like he has a little nose there. But, so yeah, just like in the movie, you can have both versions of the face. You can just flip that back down, put the helmet back on, and get it back to normal. Let's see, for the torso, the waist, yeah, it can go 360. Just kind of hard to do because just the shape of the torso is a lot different than a normal Gundam. The cockpit does open, it just slides out. You see the little C-Book Arno in there. He does have a ball joint at the waist, so he can also rock forward and back and side to side. For the shoulders, the shoulder armor is on a separate little hinge, so it can come all the way up like so. And the shoulders themselves can come up about that far. There's also a joint inside the torso that lets the shoulders go up and down together, and they can come forward about that far. They go back just a little bit, but not much. Rotation below the shoulder, actually a triple jointed elbow, can bend a full 180, and also there's rotation at the elbow. Whoops, as you can see, it's just a peg in the middle of the elbow joint, so kind of reminds me of the elbow joints on the old Gundam Wing high grades and G Gundam. Anyway, he's got a double jointed wrist, so a ball joint, so it can wiggle around and rotate 360. There's also a hinge at the wrist, which lets it bend forward, and it could bend back, but this piece of armor kind of gets in the way of that. And he's got standard master grade hands of the newer versions, ball joint thumb, and he's got a ball joint index finger. These other 3 fingers are just on a hinge. And you could cut these apart and separate them, but I really wouldn't recommend it just because these fingers are so small. The F91, being a smaller mobile suit, of course has smaller hands, and I think those fingers would be pretty fragile if you tried to cut them apart, so I wouldn't recommend it. Also, on the shoulders, you've got these fin thingies, and this isn't wanting to come off. You know what? I'm just going to do that in part 2. That's kind of a accessory gimmick anyway. Anyway, the side skirts are on ball joint, so they can go up and down just a little bit, not much, but they can rotate. Front skirts are on ball joint, so they can go all the way up and wiggle around a bit and pop the armor off. Anyway, back skirts have a little bit of movement, not much. They can just kind of go up and down. There's a little clamp here that opens up. You can insert the beam launcher, and I think you can insert the beam rifle as well. Anyway, the hips are on a peg swivel system, so actually let me move this front skirt out of the way. Legs can go up quite far. They can go back until they hit the back skirts, and that keeps wanting to come out. They can go out until they hit the side skirts. If side skirts weren't there, they could probably go all the way up. That's just the way they're designed. And there is rotation below the hip joint. The knees can bend almost a full 180. Not quite. They can only bend about that far. But I guess it's pretty good. I mean, it's not like only bending a few degrees more is going to give you any more of a dynamic pose. Ankles can go up and down. The ankle armor can also go up and down. The end of the foot, I should say, can go forward and back. They don't bend down, but they do bend forward that far. And there are some little pistons down in here that just move around when you move the ankle, but I find that they come loose really, really easily. And you really can't tell because the ankle armor is hiding it, but just know that those pistons do have a tendency to come loose. Alright, and before we end this, we'll just go ahead and do these Vespers. On the back, they actually have kind of a wing look. I mean, certainly not as big wings as Wing Gundam or Strike Freedom or something, but they almost do kind of look like miniature wings to me. Anyway, they are on ball joints right here, so they can rotate, and well, they can't really rotate 360, but they could if the backpack wasn't in the way. But they slide forward. This part pulls forward, the little handle flips out. This part, the back half, is supposed to slide out, but it's, I don't know. It does slide back, but it's really hard to get it going, and then when you do get it out, it just pops off. So I just leave it in place because there's really not much of a point in sliding it out. And there's another handle on the bottom of the Vespers right there, so the F91 with no helmet can hold on to them and fire them like so. And of course both of them do that. And yeah, I guess that's about it for articulation. So part 1 ran a little bit longer than I thought it would. So make sure to come back for part 2 and we'll go over F91's weapons and accessories.